Okay, so let's dive deep into this today. We're looking at a core statement you find in many traditions. God works to protect his people even in the worst circumstances.
Right. It's a huge assurance for believers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A sense that there's intervention even when things seem, well, hopeless.
And our mission here is to really unpack the theological meaning behind that. We're going beyond just the surface statement.
How are we doing that?
We're using a really powerful story from the source material as our main example, the Exodus narrative. It shows this principle, in action.
Okay, good. So let's start with the first bit. God works. The sources seem clear. This isn't some distant hands-off deity,
Not
right?
at all. It implies God is actively, dynamically involved,
Hmm.
not just watching, but actually intervening in what's happening here on Earth.
Intervening. Okay. And the next part, to protect his people. That sounds specific, like a special relationship.
Precisely. It points directly to this idea of a covenant, a sort of binding agreement. This relationship then defines how God intervenes, providing safety, providing sustenance, providing deliverance.
Right, deliverance. But, okay, here's the thing I wrestle with. If that protection is active, why the emphasis on even in the worst circumstances? Doesn't that almost sound like an exception?
That's actually the most powerful part of the statement. It's not an exception. It's the ultimate test case. It assures people that God's power, God's faithfulness, they aren't limited or stopped by how bad things get for humans.
So the worst things are.
The more profound the intervention might be, the sources often suggest that it's precisely in those darkest times, like extreme suffering or oppression, that this divine help is expected to be most, well, obvious. Miraculous, even.
And the source material gives a very specific, very grim, worst circumstance here, doesn't it? It's not abstract.
No, not at all. It points directly to the situation in Egypt. Not just slavery, which was terrible enough, but Pharaoh's explicit order.
The order to kill all the newborn Hebrew boys.
Yes, by throwing them into the Nile. I mean, this was a calculated attempt to wipe out the future of an entire people. It's systemic.
That really raises the stakes.
Yeah.
An existential threat. So how did this divine work actually manifest in that specific horrific context? The sources talk about protection, but it wasn't like a shield descending from the sky.
No, exactly. And this is what's fascinating. The protection worked through surprising means, through the courage of people who seemed powerless.
Okay, like what?
Well, the first act mentioned is how the divine work inspired the midwives. These were the women tasked with carrying out Pharaoh's orders.
Right.
And the intervention wasn't some big cosmic show. It was subtle. It was giving these women the moral strength, the courage to defy a direct command from the most powerful person they knew.
Wow. So the divine action is channeled through human ethical resistance, defiance against tyranny.
That's a key part of it. It shows the intervention working through human agents, through their risky choices.
Okay, that's the first act. What was the second?
The second was more, let's say, strategic for the long game. It was ensuring the survival of one specific child, Moses.
The central figure later on.
Exactly. The sources make a point of this. The decree targeted all male infants, aiming for total destruction of that generation's leadership potential. Yet, this one child who would become the deliverer,
The one who would eventually lead them out.
he is protected, hidden, found, saved. It wasn't random. It was targeted protection, ensuring the leader needed for the future deliverance would survive the immediate threat.
So putting it all together, we see the active involvement, the covenant promise of protection, and this idea that God's power isn't starved by even the most horrific circumstances.
Correct. And all demonstrated through these very specific, very human-level events.
Yeah.
The midwife's courage and the baby Moses' survival.
So this deep dive really shows that the statement isn't some kind of guarantee life will be easy. It's presented more as, well, as a foundation for hope, for faith, especially when things look absolutely desperate, pointing to these past interventions.
That's the core of it. It's fundamentally about hope against despair. And maybe the thought to leave you with is this. Consider how that specific idea, the intervention, even deliverance, can arise right when things seem utterly lost, often through unexpected people or means like Moses. How might that shape how you understand or face periods of real difficulty?